but you can say, all right, there's a gift in here that I'm ready to up level and heal again, or that I'm ready for, perhaps that I wasn't 2, 3 years ago. And it's going to make me even more resilient and strong and in my power and understanding, more compassionate for myself. I think we get frustrated, like I already healed that, I already dealt with that, I
Oh
don't
yeah.
need to. And that's not how energy works either. These mirrors back our opportunities and lessons. And so I think, it's not like, here we go again. It's
Yeah.
actually a gift.
Welcome to Tried and True with a Dash of Woo, where we blend rock solid tips with a little bit of magic. I'm Renee Bowen, your host, life and business coach, and professional photographer at your service. We are all about getting creative, diving into your business, and playing with manifestation over here. So, are you ready to get inspired and have some fun? Let's dive in. Hey, welcome back to Tried and True with a Dash of Woo. I hope you guys are having an amazing week. I am your host, Renee Bowen, and every week I bring you guys either solo episodes or some amazing guests, and I have one of those for you guys today. Her name is Christina L Woods, and we have a lot in common. Like, we are certified in a lot of the same modalities, and she's also a coach. So our conversation is centered all around this epidemic of not enoughness, self-worth, what you can do to change that, and some really quick ways to get out of those old programming beliefs. Christine is a licensed rapid transformational therapist. She's also a clinical hypnotherapist, an empowerment coach, and a Reiki master. And she combines her background in corporate leadership along with her life experiences in dealing with trauma and abandonment to empower other women to trust their own intuition and set themselves free of self-doubt. As the CEO and founder of Wise Woods Hypnotherapy and Coaching, Christina has extensive experience working on complex challenges and pulling potential out of others so that they can become self-reliant individuals. And through this deep hypnotherapy and coaching work, she empowers women to shed old programming so they can live the life they deserve. She's been honing her intuition and spiritual energy practice throughout her entire life. And it is this experience, knowledge, and wisdom that she brings to every client during each session. Christina wants everyone to stop looking outside for what they need and instead look inside themselves. She helps her clients step into their true, authentic self, free of self-sabotaging behavior, so they can live a life full of deep meaning and potential. So she's pretty rad. And yeah, we would be BFFs. So I may have to go take a little trip down to Orange County and have some coffee with her, because we definitely have a lot in common. Like I said, we're both Reikis. We're both coaches, hypnotherapy, the whole deal. We really are very centered in that belief of our unconscious holding so many of the cards, and how we can change those and how we can rewire all of that. And it doesn't have to take a long time. So grab a cup of coffee, have a seat, and listen in on our conversation. Hey, Christina, thank you so much for being here today. I'm super excited to chat with you. We have so much in common.
I know, we really do. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yay. So for you guys that are listening, just side note, we both are certified in hypnosis and Reiki, and we have a lot of the same interests. We're both coaches. She's got some other certifications that I don't, and vice versa. So this will be a really fun conversation. And I really want to just kind of start off with and kind of focus on something I see a lot in my coaching that I know you probably see a lot of as well. This like epidemic of I am not enoughness. And, why do you think, in your opinion, what are your thoughts on why that seems to be so prevalent? I see it a lot in women, especially my female clients. Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, and there's, we can dig into the beliefs, and find out the nitty gritties of the whys, but somewhere along the line, we disconnect from ourself and our intuition and our voice. And when we do that and we stop trusting ourselves, our North Star, however we want to refer to it, that's when we start doing that comparison game. And I don't know what to do. I don't know the answers. I need to go outside of myself. And then you're instantly in that I'm not enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not rich enough. I need another course. I need another this. I need another something. I need another diet. But I think at the core, it's like we've just stopped trusting our intuition and our voice at some point, a disconnection from self. And in many times, maybe a disconnection from a higher power or whatever it is that you believe in, whether that just be nature and the trees, a connection to something really that grounds you. Because when we have that disconnection, that's something that fragments us. Yeah, we just stop listening to some, we have a
Mhm.
guide within us.
Yeah, I believe that for sure. And so much programming didn't even sign up for.
Yeah. And, I mean, I'm not enough. A big part of it is, as you know, is the core need for all of us is to be connected and not rejected. And I mean, I don't want to be rejected as much as the next person. So, you know, uh, really understanding that is, yeah, we seek to be connected. We seek to be part of a tribe, part of a group. And, and when we're doing that constantly, trying to get that validation from the outside, a lot of times what I'm doing with clients, and I'm sure you are as well, is like, let's remind you that you have all that approval already on the inside. And gosh, what an exhausting life to keep trying to seek validation on the outside, because that,
Yeah.
burnout. So
Yeah, it's not possible. It's just really
no.
not feasible. And we get so reliant to, especially with social media and it's really easy to fall prey, I think, too, right? To the scroll and consuming all of that, it really is not just about like as far as like our well-being, like the kind of foods we eat. It's like what we're consuming from media, energetically,
Oh yeah.
yeah, all of that. And your energy is really affected by that. So I want to kind of talk a little bit about that because I know that a lot of my listeners may not, well, they may not really have kind of dove deep into energetics and like energy healing and Reiki and things like that alongside of, you know, the stuff that we think about, right? Like this more
Mhm.
stuff that we feel about. So I kind of want to take us there, if you
Sure.
don't mind, to talk about that and how shifting energy, right, with your clients. What are some of the things that you found that work really well for your clients? I mean, obviously everybody's different, but what works really well for your clients in terms of um, cleaning up their energy, shifting their energy, getting in a higher vibration, that kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah. I think first, just even, being aware and looking at maybe even the scale of consciousness and looking at and saying, whoa, okay, when I'm down here, this is a lower vibration. And up here, we all know gratitude and love and all those things are really high vibration. But, I get into shame or guilt, or I get, ticked off, or, we go up and down. But when we hang out there, to really understand, all right, I'm a match when I'm at a low vibration, then really understanding without shame or without saying, because we can get a little bit, the energetic world can get a little bit like you're a mirror, everything in your life is a mirror back to you, which can feel a little bit not so good sometimes, like, oh,
Yeah.
all these bad things are happening to me because I'm a mirror and I attracted them back in. But so just being accountable for where we're at on the scale and knowing we go up and down, but what is the scale and what does it look like? And even clients that I work with that understand energy, just having that scale of consciousness and being aware, like, okay, I am down here. What do I need to do to go up here? Because when we're down in the funk, we don't even really feel it or see it. So I think awareness is first and foremost, like, I'm
Hmm.
down here, I need to get up. But one of the best things is, and someone taught me, an energy coach taught me this, and it's kind of based in what's called the Sedona method, one of those methods out there that we've all learned, and I'm sure it's been tweaked and changed 1,000 times. But and it goes back to, you get more of what you feel, right? We get more of what we feel. But when we're in a bad place and someone's saying, well, just think, rainbows and butterflies, start thinking happy thoughts. And you're like, yeah, right, whatever. I can't. Like, I'm so mad right now.
Mhm.
I can't believe they said that, or my boss did this, or my kids lied. I had someone the other day saying, but she lied. She's in college across the country and she lied. How can I trust her now? It's hard to get out of that. So, one of the ways is to think in the last 24 hours of the last few days where, let's say, you feel out of control or you feel unsafe or not approved of. Think in the last day or so when you did feel that feeling, when you felt approved of or you felt in control. And just stop, and it's usually a moment with the dog or a walk. I saw a butterfly, but
Mhm.
pets are so good because it's like unconditional and it's easy. Like, I
Yeah.
looked at the cat, they purred, it felt good. And just let that moment kind of blow through you like a gentle breeze. And it's such an easy pivot. And really let that soak in, like, feel it in your cells, feel it in your bones. And just that exercise of that shifts your energy so quickly. And then think about, okay, hold on. She's 18. Yeah, she lied. She's in college. Maybe she didn't want me to reject her. Maybe, I mean, you have a different
Mhm.
perspective. So that's a really good energy pivot shift to, pivot your energy and get you back into a different vibration. Because I think, we all want to shift our energy, but I know I've had coaches and leaders and friends say, but you have so much to be grateful for. But when you're in that funk, it's like, you
Yeah.
know what? I think I want to pour this glass of water in your face. Come on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It's so hard. And I've heard that from so many people, not just, coaching clients, but just people in my life, my personal life. And it's so hard for some people to, like you said, wrap their head around that because it
mhm.
feels very like they already beat themselves up, right? Like, so if someone's
Yeah,
already self-sabotaging and already like has a lot of um inner saboteur, right?
yeah,
Voices like you're
yeah.
not good enough, you suck, blah, 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 all those things. They already have a lot of that going on. And then that concept of you get what you are, you get what you give, etc. They're like, well, great. Okay. Well, since I can't snap out of it, since I have no control over these thoughts and I am just really feeling crappy about my life, then, that sucks. I guess I'm just going to keep attracting it and I don't know why. And so they stay in that
They
that
do. They
cycle.
do. And one of the most common beliefs that feeds I'm not enough is a belief that what you just said is sort of like, that's not available to me. So a lot of people will say, I make a lot of money, I have a lot of friends, but I'm just not one of those people that has love. Like, I'm
Mhm.
just not going to find the love of my life. Like, that's not available to me. It's okay because I have all these other things.
Yep.
Or vice versa. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of clients that the first thing they say to me is, I don't know why I'm not fulfilled. I have so many things to be grateful for, but it's just this thing. So it's probably not a big deal. Maybe I don't even need you because I have all these things to be grateful for. So we're always apologizing as if I've got 8 things, I should not have 10 things.
Mm.
And so it's this, why not? Why not? Why are we not good enough to have all these things? We're not worthy, but we have a belief often like, but that thing might not just be available to me. It's available to other people, but just not me
Yeah.
because I got lucky and got the other things. But that's just a belief.
Yeah. And I mean, the bottom line, and I believe this fully, is that we can be and have whatever we want
Mm-hmm.
and guilt free as well,
Guilt
because
free.
we are meant to be happy. I mean, I really believe we came here to experience this place and that,
Yeah.
our perspective on that is what color is it a lot. But yeah, so many people will just say that, well, it must be nice for you because you have this or you have that, or and yeah, there are some people who have had an upper hand, who have privilege, who have,
Sure.
and I 100% recognize that, and in myself as well. But we don't know everybody else's story. You don't know
Right.
exactly what that person has gone through, right?
Yeah.
You don't know that they dealt with incredible loss or whatever it is. And it's so interesting to me when I see people who have had, when I do hear their stories and they have had like
Yeah.
incredibly difficult lives. And I mean like trauma with a big T.
Mm-hmm.
And they are like the most calm and like neutral observer, happy people in their lives because they've worked, through
They've
that.
done
That
that.
is so amazing to me. So I'm like, well, okay, explain that then. If you feel like, you know what I mean? Like it's like look for proof because you will find proof of whatever it is you're looking for.
You're right. Absolutely. Yeah. And humans we're so resilient. And, back to that idea about life is a mirror back. When you start healing the beliefs and really understanding energy, it's a mirror back because it's a gift to look at what those lessons are. And when you get to that place, and I have my days where I'm like, well, I feel a little in my victim mode for a moment, but I'm able to
Mm-hmm.
pivot out of it much, much quicker now. But I do see things or challenges now, and I'll say, okay, especially lately with energy and astrology and things going on, it's like, okay, here we go again. I'm healing this thing again. I thought I was done
Yeah.
with it, or whatever it might be, that childhood issue coming up again. But you can say, all right, there's a gift in here that I'm ready to up level and heal again, or that I'm ready for, perhaps, that I wasn't 2-3 years ago, and it's going to make me even more resilient and strong and in my power and understanding, more compassionate for myself. I think we get frustrated, like I already healed that, I already dealt with that, I
Oh
don't
yeah.
need to. And that's not how energy works either. These mirrors back are opportunities and lessons. And so I think, it's not like, here we go again. It's
Yeah.
actually a gift.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I find myself saying a lot, not just to myself, but to all my coaching students is that, this is an opportunity if you choose to look at it that way, because it is a choice. You
Yeah.
can look at it as an opportunity, like, oh, that trigger, okay, it can take you down a different path if
Yeah.
you allow it to. But if you look at it as an opportunity for growth, that's where the gold is. And that's where, you know, I feel like so many people, and I don't know, it depends on everyone's journey and it depends on so many different things. But when
Yes.
you do look at it through that lens, it tells a different story. And there's a lot to gather from that if you're willing to sit with it. And that's the other part of it, is that in order to kind of move through it, like that awareness, like you were talking about, awareness, looking at it, recognizing it, seeing it, okay, sitting with it and being okay with the fact that it does not feel great right now. And
No.
that it is temporary, because everything is temporary, literally.
Right. Right. Right.
And
Right.
it's not always going to feel this charged. I was having this conversation with my son last night. I have a 25-year-old son. He has autism,
Hmm.
and he has he's come so far, and he's a very big success story as far as, overcoming so many challenges
Oh,
in
it's
his
wonderful.
life. And he still deals with these situations that come up, that, in social things. And I think there was something that happened online because, he spends a lot of time with his friends online. And there was something that came up where he said something and, didn't mean it to come out that way, but it kind of, was misconstrued. And so right when that happened, he immediately took responsibility and said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it to come across that way, and tried to apologize. And that person just blocked him and did
Mm.
not allow for him to have that apology. And it's been eating him up for about
Oh,
a week
yeah.
now. And so he finally talked to me about it. Of course, where our kid, like, I don't know about you, but like my kids always just like lay things on me at like 11 o'clock at night.
I know. And you're like, this is a moment. I'm going to stay awake as a mom, but boy, it's tired. I'm
I'm
tired.
literally about to like nod off. And he's, he needs to get this off his chest. And I'm like, okay, let's go
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. We got
And
to
that's one of the things that I was talking about. I was like, you can't control what someone else does with that, but you can, take responsibility. It sounds like You did and you are. But the more you hold on to it, the only person suffering right now is you. And we are our worst critics. We are, we're harder on ourselves than anybody else is. So let's figure out a way for you to kind of sit with this, let it be uncomfortable for a second. Let's move through it because you got to
Mm-hmm.
kind of make peace with it before you can deal with it. Running away from it just makes it bigger, just makes it stronger.
What a great lesson. What a great lesson, right?
Yeah.
And it's I'm so glad you say that. I have a client I've been working with that, I think when we're doing this work sometimes, especially in the spiritual realm, we believe in these synchronicities or these
Mm-hmm.
signs. And so often then we will lean on them instead of taking accountability for what I was told one time is there's no divine timing without divine action. And I love that.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, you don't wait around for divine timing. You still take divine action, and it has to be aligned. And that's what divine timing is with divine action. And so, she's this client is, really owning her intuition. And then someone in her life that she's not sure she wants to be with would take an action that would kind of sway her to, gosh, maybe he is the right person. I'm not sure. I'm sure maybe he's the right person. He just did something nice. And she's like, well, that was the universe telling me I should stay. Like, well,
Yeah.
that's one way to look at it. There's another way to look at it. It's another way for the universe showing you, come on, honey, you can stand in your power. You
Yeah.
really can trust your intuition. That's another way to look at it. So, um,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
so it's really this opportunity. We have the answers within, and as you build that strength from within, and that's why I love whether it's hypnotherapy, NLP, energy healing, and mixing it all together. It's just so
Yeah.
powerful because even when we do subconscious work, if we have energy blocks and things weighing us down, just the combination is so powerful to really lighten us and feel empowered in our physical body and our energy body.
Yeah, I agree. As far as all of that, like what does that look like for you when you're working with clients? I know that you work with people all over the world,
Yeah.
like, like I do. And so, um, do you have a specific like method or protocol, or do you just sort of individualize and intuitively connect, with that client and maybe it looks like, do you do hypnosis tracks? Do you do it with them live? Like how do you sort of navigate that? I'm always so interested to hear how other people do that.
Yeah. It is intuitive, and it is individualized. So really just feeling, where is someone? I
Mhm.
used to always start right away with hypnotherapy, but what I found is, let's really feel into it can be too jarring sometimes for a
Yeah.
client, to start there. So depending on where someone is in their path. So I might do some other energy work or some coaching or parts work or inner child work or some of those things to really start to understand, where they're at and how are they feeling. And uh, I do theta healing. I'm an advanced theta healer, which is a great
Oh, tell me
way.
about that.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It is also a hypnosis method, but
Hmm.
it's really just taking a client into a theta brainwave. But it is connecting with a creator of all that is, so a spiritual connection, and witnessing a healing. So there has to be a belief in a higher power, and so taking a client to a theta brainwave, connecting with a higher power, doing a body scan, and then it's a lot of muscle testing is
Yeah.
yeah. So a lot of muscle testing on beliefs. Many of us have been to maybe like a homeopathic doctor where they do the
Hmm.
muscle testing with
Yep.
vitamins and minerals, but it's doing a lot of muscle testing with beliefs. And
Mm.
it gets into ancestral beliefs, collective consciousness beliefs, soul level beliefs. So oftentimes I'll find if I'm doing hypnotherapy and we're still finding something lingering, I'll find, okay, let's maybe go a little deeper into that belief. Might be, certainly past life or other ancestral a collective belief that,
Yep.
you know, these things run deep. I mean, you can walk the earth not very long and have some collective beliefs and not have any trauma. And we know just being a woman or a man, there's plenty of collective conscious beliefs.
Yeah, especially now too. And like there's so much heaviness
Yeah.
occurring on the daily. And so I feel like, there's so many people who are so sensitive to that and they
Yes.
don't realize that they're picking it up. They're literally just picking up all of that collective trauma, and it's like you said, it's super easy to do that right now.
It
I mean, all you have
is.
to do is hop online for a second and could get bombarded with it. And as soon as you interact with any of that content, you're going to get more of it because the algorithm is like energy. You're going to get exactly what
Yeah.
you tell it you want.
It's so
And
true.
so you have to curate all of it, right? Like you've got to curate your field
You
in
do.
really kind of tell it what
Energetic
you want.
hygiene.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things that I always recommend to people who are really feeling that a lot and having a hard time, grounding or kind of moving through that and just being super affected by the weight of the world. One of the things that I tell them they can do that'll take like 5 minutes, like super easy, you can do it wherever, is to just kind of, close your eyes for a second, take a couple of cleansing breaths, and then imagine your energetic field around you, just like right around you. And then go ahead and expand it and say, I expand my field
Yeah.
by a mile. And then keep going, keep going, keep going,
Mm-hmm.
keep going until you
It's a
get to
great
like
one.
100,000 miles, 500,000 miles, and like really like feel it. And when I do it, I see it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
I see it visually in my mind, like a cartoon, like it goes woof, like you know what I
Oof.
mean? Like it's like a
Oh, yeah.
big,
Your
yeah,
superpower. Yeah.
yeah. And so if you can add a visualization to that or anything that's going to be more impactful and like empower you to really feel into it, it works, especially if you're in a situation where you do feel disempowered or you feel like maybe you're in a relationship with someone who is consistently, you know, a little narcissistic and you're
Yeah.
not understanding how to navigate that. That's a really good thing to do before you even like go into that,
Oh, it really
situation.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that and zipping up energy, right?
Yeah.
So I have a couple clients that just that idea of like I'm zipping myself up, I'm really protected. Um, when I'm doing sessions with people, even because I work with a lot of sensitive people and
Hmm.
they're just understanding how empathic they are. And maybe they're not even in the spiritual world. They just know, why am I so tired when I'm around these
Yeah.
people? I'm so exhausted, or, I'm just, I'm not, they're not really, it's all new. It's all new to them. So just sharing with them ways to recharge or giving them permission for self-care and understanding the value of it and the words for it. So, through hypnosis, finding out what those limiting beliefs are, but then using you said kind of when and where do I use the energy healing? I might say, let's do Reiki now and help you recharge your chakras might be not in balance,
Hmm.
or let's do some theta healing to, go deeper with some of these beliefs. And so when you do muscle testing, it's such great evidence for people
Yeah.
to see, wow, I can really feel it. So it kind of weaves in and out depending on, and some people are like, I don't want to have anything to do with that Reiki. So we don't go there and we just do coaching. We don't talk about it. So,
Yeah, I love
uh,
that. Talk to me a little bit about the rapid transformational therapy because I know a little bit about it, but I don't think that a lot of my listeners probably know a lot about that.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm super interested in that.
it's amazing. So RTT, rapid transformational therapy, is created by Marissa Peer, and she is absolutely phenomenal. And what I love about it is, and her philosophy is that, look, therapy and ways of improving our life does not need to take forever. If we're not
Hmm.
feeling well and our foot's broken and we go to the doctor, they don't say come back in 2 weeks and let's talk about it every Friday at 3 o'clock. So when she created this, and everyone said, yeah, but if you have trauma, it's going to take a long time. And she really kind of bucked the system and said, no, I've been doing this for 30 years. I created this new method And no, you actually, it doesn't need to take that. And with all due respect to anyone that it is taking longer than 2 sessions or 3 sessions, of course. And I'm one of those people. I've done therapy and EMDR, and I did have the big T trauma.
Yeah.
So I understand that, but it is sure nice when someone creates something new. And so RTT is hypnotherapy that gets to the very root cause. So instead of just like affirmations and visuals and repetition, it's like, all right, yes, we can do those things to help you stop smoking or feel better about yourself, but let's find out in the first place why you did it.
Yeah.
What's the very, very root cause and reason? Just like if we pull the weeds, we got to go to the root, otherwise, it's just going to grow right back. So finding the root, interrupting it, and there's some techniques to do
Yeah.
that, and then rewiring it with an audio recording like most hypnosis has. Very powerful visual words you listen to for about 3 weeks or more, and it's very effective. Most people need maybe 1 to 3 sessions for each issue. I usually work with clients at least 3 months with that
Yeah.
mixed in with coaching. So
Wow. I mean, the unconscious mind is so amazing, right? Like
it
it's
is.
just so fascinating. That's the key to to all the things. And you do have to be, I mean, obviously, if someone is seeking out, healing in any kind of modality, like, there's a reason. There's a reason why you're drawn to certain people, right? Like, there's a reason if you're listening to this episode, there's a reason why you found this episode. There's a
Yeah.
reason why, you've maybe have never heard about these things and now you're hearing about it. And so it doesn't necessarily mean it's, time for you to jump in right away, but there's a reason why. And I'm a big believer that we are meant, we find what is meant for us at the right time. And it might pan out right now for you to dive deeper into that. And it might, be a longer journey, and that's okay. But I also am always reminding people that, if something pops up on your radar and that rings a bell in your head and you feel it in your body and you really, it's a little like, ooh, that's a sign, right? Like
Yeah.
that's an opportunity, like we were talking about before. And if you choose to look at it through that lens of an opportunity, there's some really cool stuff that can happen on the other side of it. You do have to be brave because you have to sit with it and you've got to be willing to kind of go there. But I believe that if it dropped in, it's probably time to address
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely. I mean, I didn't even know about hypnotherapy until I was almost 50 and completely changed a
Yeah.
multi six-figure 30-year career to do this. That's how
Yeah.
impactful and powerful it was. So, and my kids were like, "Oh my gosh, mom, you're like the guy at the fair." Because they thought I'd do the stage thing. So, there's so much more to it.
Yeah. No, tell me about that a little bit. Let's talk about real quick your journey through that, because yeah, you had a completely different sort of background, and
Yeah.
and it was like a whole
Corporate
360.
life. Yeah, whole revamp. So, I did what everybody kind of thinks they should do. I did the good girl route and was very successful, a VP with 100 people under me, flying all around the country, 30-year, climbed the ladder and did very well until one day my health was falling apart. My marriage, 25-year marriage, was falling apart. I didn't see my kids enough and I was miserable. I wasn't happy. The bank account looked good. My house looked good.
Mm,
Everything on the outside looked good. But I had a spiritual awakening. I was outside in the backyard pulling weeds. And I was like, okay, the boys didn't pick up the dog, stuff here. I'm just in my pajamas
yeah.
pulling weeds. And I literally heard a voice that said, when are you going to stop worrying about what everybody else needs and focus on what you need? And it wasn't my intuition. It was literally a voice over here
Wow.
and it stopped me. And I really had to think, wow, like what was that first? And I knew what it was. And I had to think I need to make some changes. And I had already known, unfortunately, that my marriage was coming to an end. But I also knew that I wanted to really go deep inside and find out why I felt certain ways about myself that I knew in my soul weren't true, Why do you spend more money than you should on these silly things you don't need? Or why do you eat those things when you don't want to? Why do you feel that way about yourself sometimes? So I did the deep dive, and I did some therapy. I did the spiritual retreats and went
Mm-hmm.
within. And during that process, I found things about myself that were never darn true. And it completely transformed my life. And that's how I wanted to spend the rest of my life, helping other people. And that's what I do now.
That's amazing. I think
Yeah.
that's so cool because it's such a testament to like you you never know, first of all.
Oh
And
yeah.
also like you just never know. And and it's also such a great reminder that you can pivot at any
Oh,
time.
I know. Yes.
And
Yes.
I feel like a lot of women especially don't really believe that, right? Because
No,
it's
they don't.
so hard to believe, especially as we are in our 40s and like I'm in my early 50s, we have sort of been taught, like you said, we've been programmed and taught like this is what you do. And
Hmm.
and I mean, I've been an entrepreneur for a really long time, but I see a lot of women, especially um, deciding or wanting or feeling called to either work for themselves or to, like you said, have a complete 180 in their life and change things up. And it's fascinating to me when I see that because it can be done. Like there is proof. Like,
Absolutely.
you don't have to feel stuck. It just, you have
Yeah,
to take that aligned action to
you
have it
do.
happen.
Yeah, I mean, I was single with kids in college, tuition, mortgage, the whole thing. And so, and there is a calling, I think now women are realizing like I can still be safe. I can without the guilt, like you said in the beginning. I can have these things without the guilt. And it's just really, really feels so good to be part of that awakening and that
Mhm.
empowerment in any way, whatever that looks like. You don't have to have, leave all the things I did and change it to that degree. But even if it's just finding what fills you up and what lights you up, or giving yourself permission to take some time out for yourself, or set some boundaries,
Mhm.
or speak up for yourself, those are big deals.
They really are. And it's something that I wish that I had, I'm not one for regret at all.
Mhm.
But, now that I'm 53, like, okay, thinking about what would I tell my 23-year-old self? Like,
Oh,
you know what I mean? Yeah. So there's so many things. And
yeah.
I have a 23-year-old daughter.
I have
So
a 23-year-old son.
yep, I have one of those too, and a 25-year-old. And so it's really cool to be able to, yeah, they don't always listen, they learn by example more than, the words, but
Right.
and when we live it, that's really the best gift. That's the other thing too, is like a lot of parents don't realize that is that the best gift you can give your kids is just to live your life as fully and as in your fullest and highest expression as possible, because that is going to change their life more than you telling them what to do, as a side note.
Absolutely.
But, one of the things that I really want younger women especially to hear is that, as you approach menopause, I think it is, I think that has a really big factor. And I went through menopause really early, like at
Yeah.
42. And,
Mm.
my health was not great. And that was one of the things that happened, but it was kind of a gift. And so on the other side of it, um, you don't care as much about stuff
No,
as you
no.
did in your 20s.
Oh, I know. People like, you're going to do what? You're going to leave that great career
Yep.
and do, I'm sorry, what? Hypno, is that even real? like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, yes, I am. And it's fantastic.
And I really don't care what you think.
And if
I
it doesn't work
really
out,
don't.
I'll do something else.
Exactly. And I love that it's so freeing. Like that's
Yeah.
one of the gifts that I have seen of getting older is this perspective and this feeling of like freedom. No, I don't have to. Like I've never been really one to do what other people wanted me to do, but there were a lot of times where I did what was expected of me, maybe in personal relationships and things like that. And maybe, definitely taken on too much work and
Right. Say
that kind of
yes to too
stuff.
much.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm a human design generator, so that, until I started learning about human design, you are as well, yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and, and that was something that I just did naturally, right? Like I
Yeah, we
just like, oh,
respond.
I can do it. I can do it. I can do
Yep.
it. And then, oh, I am so burnt out. Yeah. So learning about human design as well, just in the last few years has been such a huge eye opener for me, and giving myself that permission of being like, yeah, no, this is a no. My body says this is a no.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not
Yeah,
going to
hold on.
deny that anymore. I'm
Yeah,
going
I'm
to
gonna
listen.
check my sacral here for a sec. For me,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Exactly. Just as a little side note, 'cause I always like to ask my guests. So you're a human design generator. What's your profile lines?
1-3.
1-3. Ah, I'm a 2-4.
Hmm.
And then what's your astrological big three?
I am a Scorpio sun, right? Leo rising, and a Cancer moon.
Ooh, love. Love, love, love. Yeah. I
Water,
can see the
fire, a little
Scorpio.
fire, but water. And
Yep.
I, funny thing is my partner and I have the same birthday, so we're two
Oh,
Scorpios here. The same
ooh.
date. Yeah, I know. Yep. Uh-huh. So
Ooh,
I'm used to
no.
the sting. I know what to expect.
Wow. Yeah, no, I'm a Virgo, but I had this thing with Scorpio guys for literally most of my life. And I'm not even talking about just they sometimes had the same birthday. It was bizarre.
Oh, I had that actually. I had three boyfriends with the same birthday and they were
Uh-huh.
all cancers. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And wow, those were some really big lessons in my 20s.
We could have lunch.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But no, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, the Scorpio now when I hear Scorpio, I'm always like, there's always like a whew, but not women.
Yeah,
Some of my best friends are Scorpio women. So it's very different. Scorpio men, very different for me. So
I
it's
would
really
agree.
funny. And
I
my
would
husband's
agree.
an Aries, but he has a Scorpio moon. So that's an interesting thing too. I was like, well, yeah, I couldn't get away with it from it completely. Obviously.
No, you couldn't. That's fun.
Dancing around it for sure. Okay, so before we wrap up, this has been really fun. I really hope that you guys, take away what we've, that whole idea of you are enough right now. You don't need to be, anything more, right? You don't have to like wait for permission to live your life, and you are enough now, and you can call in and decide whatever it is you want in your life, and you can change things quickly, and change can happen
Yeah.
really, really quickly. And that's kind of what I want to sort of wrap up with, because we danced around it a little bit, talking about hypnotherapy and RTT and how, big changes can happen. I see it happen all the time with my clients. I'll tell them to listen to the hypnosis tracks, and literally within like 3 weeks, they're like, I don't know why, but I just don't really feel like that. I'm like, I know why.
Exactly. I don't feel it anymore. It's not bothering me as much. I don't notice it as much.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's becoming who you are.
Yes. It's really working, and it works
Yeah.
quick. And so, what would you tell someone who is really like, not well versed in, doesn't know a lot about hypnotherapy, thinks it's like super weird or whatever? Like, what's like one piece of advice you would give somebody who is a little, averse to it or not willing to try it, but they are interested in it? Like,
Yeah,
what's
it's just a natural process. It feels like you're listening, or it when we're talking the whole time. I think that's a big shocker. We're talking the whole time, and it feels like kind of just a relaxed state, like you're in a meditation. And I think the big one is there's not like a switch. You don't
Mhm.
go into this zombie like state. It's just a you're just talking, and you almost even think, is this working? Like I
Mhm.
still hear the lawnmower outside and the dog barking. Yes, it's still working. And no matter who you are, where you live, we all have programs. We all have beliefs that aren't true about us. So those beliefs are worth finding out, because they're the lens in which you look through and determine how you feel about yourself and how you feel about the world. And the more you peel those away, you get clarity and you get the truth about you. So, but hypnosis is not the big scary thing on Netflix. I mean, those shows are
Right.
terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And again, like, I always tell people, like, if you feel called to it and you feel it in, you feel interested in
Yeah,
it, and it isn't scary. Like, I had so many people like say, well, I feel like, it's just gonna implant ideas against my will. No, no, no. You're not
can't do
literally
that.
going into a zombie trance. That is not
Right.
possible. That just happens in the movies, you know?
Yeah. And I don't have
Yeah.
to turn it off so you can walk out the door. It's, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're good. You're still in control of your faculties, and trance is a very natural state. I mean, like, heck, you could be driving your car and get to your location and not remember getting there. Like, we go into trance all the time.
Absolutely. I don't know about you, but I pull in my driveway and go, did I even stop at the
Yeah.
light? There you
Yeah.
go. So,
Exactly. Our body, it's natural. And so it's just about using it to its highest benefit
right.
and creating quick change. That's what I love about it, is that it really just it can happen so fast. And it's kind of amazing when you see that in real time. It's like, and even just like in my personal life, just my own, obviously the reason why I believe in it so much is because I see it firsthand, like you, how it
Yeah,
made such a huge difference in your life. And it's like, oh, I just got to tell everybody about it
I
because
know.
it's awesome. So
Yeah. And I'm listening to an audio recording myself right now that I made
mhm.
myself.
Yep,
So,
I do it all the time. I have those headphones, that sleep mask with the little headphones built
oh,
into it,
nice.
the Bluetooth. And I love to do that on like long haul flights, but sometimes I'll just put that on when I go to sleep. My husband's the same way. He will listen. We both have the same we have matching sets of this iPhone.
Nice.
And he likes to listen as he wakes up because he has severe ADHD. And so getting up in the morning is really, really hard for him. Like, he has to like set an alarm, and then he has to give himself like 30 minutes. And so he uses that 30 minutes to listen to hypnosis. And
Perfect.
it sets his day, like it sets the tone, which I think is fantastic. Me, when I wake up, my alarm goes off. I'm up. I got to get up. My
Mm,
brain just starts moving, and I've tried doing it in the morning, but I'm a little too distracted. I like to do it at night when I'm falling asleep, when
good.
I'm getting into theta and delta, and you know what I mean? So you
Mm-hmm.
got to find what
Mm-hmm.
works for you and experiment a little bit with it. But
Yeah,
it's,
and I love
yeah.
you can then do self hypnosis. So
Uh-huh.
I'm sure you teach your clients
Yep.
that too. And then if there's anything else going on in their lives, you learn it. It's very easy to learn it, and it's another way to really just be empowered.
Exactly. To
You
have
know,
agency. I love that. Thank you so much for being here and chatting with me. I could literally talk about this all day
I
long.
know, me too.
And we're not that far from each other. We'll probably, if I'm ever down in Orange County, I will let you know so we
Same
can
here.
get some coffee. Tell people where to find you. Where do you like to connect with people most? I'll put everything in the show notes, but what's your preferred method of people finding you and all of that?
Yeah, thank you. So Instagram's a great one, and my handle is at Christina, with a CH, Christina.L.Woods. And my website's ChristinaLWoods.com. And there's free downloads, a hypno meditation, and some things on there.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, I'll put all of that for you guys in the show notes. And thank you so much for being here. This has been awesome.
Thank you, Renee.
So many nuggets in this episode. I know you guys are going to walk away with a lot. One of the things I definitely want to highlight is that change doesn't have to take a long time. And, everybody has their own timing. So honor that for yourself. But if you are feeling called to do work, to work through this stuff, right? These limiting beliefs and your not enoughness, and maybe you have a lot of self-sabotaging behaviors that you're starting to notice. And so I just want you to know it doesn't have to be this lifelong journey of overcoming it. It really doesn't. There's so much proof out there that change can happen very quickly, especially with people who are, certified in modalities that are going to help you get there faster. It really just depends on, what kind of aligned action you really feel called to take. So don't wait, is the bottom line. If you feel just even a little itch that something needs to shift, just lean into it. That's all you have to really do. Just look at it, right? Instead of like sort of pushing it under the rug. And as soon as you look at it and are aware of what's going on, if the timing is right, more stuff is going to drop in and more opportunities for you to work through it are going to show up in your life. Thank you guys for tuning in again and for listening and for being such amazing, loyal followers of the show. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do follow us here. And of course, leave a review, leave a rating. Those are all so, so appreciated. You can do it super easy too. Just go to ratethispodcast.com/Renee Bowen and it'll pop up for whatever platform you use. And even if you listen on YouTube, even if you watch us on YouTube, head over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a quick review over there because it actually makes a very, very big difference. So have an amazing week, and I will see you guys next time. Love you. Bye.